Well guys, in this video I'd like to talk about my dream. Yeah. So those of you who has been following CodeMonkeyGame's channel for quite a bit of time probably know that this is all about making videos about web scraping and web development, and I did numerous attempts to write some sort of projects containing both web development and web scraping. So one of them was actually oh my god, how I call that, Codemonkey Scrape. Yeah, that was the visual web scraping service. So the idea behind that was simply to without a need to write a single line of code, just to pick up the selectors from the given site and make HTTP GET request to the particular URL endpoint, and then specify the selectors, and then just click the scrape button and get a CSV file in return. So that was kind of an idea, and quite a strange thing that one guy actually told me in the commentaries that he didn't use my code in some of his projects as well. That was really amazing, basically. So I didn't really expect that. So like at this point, I'm pretty clear regarding what exactly I would like to do in near future. So in some words, it can be called as free online web scraping service. So that is very simple. So the user can deploy the scrapers, well, like let's say to the cloud. Well, maybe that's a bit loud to say like that, but let's just imagine that. The other option is just to write the code in the browser and click the run button, so the code is executed and actually the output is given there. So again, that is supposed to be used for the web scraping. What else? Well, maybe some visual scraping opportunities as well. So well, it's pretty raw. I can't really describe that in great details because I didn't really yet implement that myself. It's just at the planning stage. But there is a significant step that I'm supposed to make regarding all this stuff. Well, like before now, I did use only free hosting Heroku for maintaining all of my apps. And the downside of Heroku, that it doesn't allow you to make outgoing HTTP GET requests. You're just ended up getting banned by the inner proxy of Heroku. So my weapon of choice, so the pythonanywhere became my weapon of choice for that purpose. And a couple of days ago, I did mail them to the support. I did mail to the support team at pythonanywhere, and I just asked them if it is possible to set up a paid account to be able to make an outgoing HTTP GET request or whatever request, doesn't matter. And they say yes. So yeah, that's possible. So the very first paid plan, only $5 per month, already whitelists all the possible IPs out there, so you can do whatever requests you want. So when I ask them if that is okay for pythonanywhere to establish some sort of an online web scraping service at their platform, they say yes. So yes, that's pretty fine. That's exactly acceptable for them. And even better news that they proposed me. So if you will multiply 5 by 12 months, you'll get the number of $60 per year. But they offered me to pay just $50 annually. So and I will get that account to run this online web scraping service. So guys, that's a kind of new step in terms of both education and maybe some sort of professional stuff. So the first thing I would like to achieve is actually to use that sort of service in my videos. So I would be writing code not in my text editor on my local system and running that, but just right in the browser. And there it is that anyone who will watch that video would also be able to navigate to the link below the description that would be in that particular video and just try out things themselves. So that's kind of it. And the problem is that I've been searching for this sort of services being free anywhere on the internet, but I didn't really find any. So I decided actually to create my own, and I really want that to be free. And like on the one hand, I feel like being a bit tempted to make it some sort of a passive income for my own self, because like making a product is really kind of better from the perspective of freedom when you're not tied up to any client like you are actually when you're freelancing. But on the other hand, like I just thought that this won't really bring me that much to be enough, so it would be better if I just go for charity and just pay for this service myself. And like many guys would be able to use that for free, and I will be absolutely happy regarding that. Actually, $50 is not that big money to spend to make so many developers, beginner developers, happy of being able to run and test their scrapers online. So that's kind of the idea. And of course, I would add an opportunity to support the project, to make some donations, either one-time donations or monthly subscriptions, but you're not forced to subscribe monthly to those services. So I will just provide links to my Patron account that allows monthly subscriptions. And if you don't really want to go for the monthly subscription, you can simply subscribe to whatever amount of money you would like to donate, and then after the transaction has been completed, you just unsubscribe, and that's it. That's basically the way how to make a one-time donation at Patron. So that's kind of it. And one last but not least thing that I actually would like to share with you guys as well is, like I had quite an unpleasant experience regarding Upwork recently. So they have shifted my job success rate from 100% to 89%, and that disappointed me so strong that like I'm deeply disappointed at Upwork at this moment. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything to that. So at the moment, I'm tied up to Upwork, and that's something that I would really like to change. And in terms of that particular stuff, what I've realized as a freelancer myself is actually that like being tied up to the platform is not the best ever option. It's much better to find clients outside Upwork or Fiverr or whatever service. So if you have if you know your client, you don't even need to know him in person. You can just know him via whatever source, instead of those freelancing platforms. And in those cases, you can either get paid directly, or some services allow you to. If you bring the client to the platform, they don't take any extra fees from you when you're getting paid by the client that you've brought to the platform. So that's another option. And what I actually also kind of dreaming about is that this sort of service that I'm supposed to build and to invest my own income into it, I really hope that one day this could have become some sort of a startup. But you know, like I'm really poor at making business, so I'm a web developer, I'm a software engineer. Like I'm not a businessman, not a business manager or things like that. So I'm not really good at those things, and I don't really want to train those things my own. But I would really love to work for a company that would that in my dream that could have grow out of the product that I've created. So imagine that's the sort of scheme when you're creating something amazing and somebody sees that and who has those business managing skills. He would say like, okay, so maybe let's try to make a startup of this idea. And in that case, you know, you're like kind of a lead developer on the project, so you're absolutely free in terms of nobody's telling you what to do and how to do, because you've already done that, and you can simply to extend your work further on. And in that case, if that would really kind of fire, in that case, I think that's really nice opportunity to work, you know, like to kind of sell your product idea to somebody who can handle that. So, and in that case, basically, you're not tied up to a client, but instead you're just developing your project. And you know, like it's at some point it really looks like similar to how open source projects goes over there. So like you know, like all this freelance and business environment works mostly on open source software. So, and you know, like as far as open source software is getting developed more and more, so definitely somebody is paying for that. But bear in mind that, say, if you're installing Python, you don't really need to pay for that, but actually people do develop Python, do develop lots of things. So there has to be some sort of investments to that sort of open source software, from maybe explicit or implicit, doesn't matter, but still there has to be some. For I don't believe that people would spend so many times and efforts to create such an amazing products for us to use as freelancers. Okay guys, so I hope you like my dream. Yeah, it would be nice if you will wish me to make my dream come true. I would really appreciate that. So the very last announcement at the end of this video is that in a couple of weeks I just need to handle my full-time job at the moment, so just a bit busy regarding making programming videos, so there will be a little break. Well, maybe at the end of this week, I mean at the end of the following week, probably I will make a couple of videos, but I'm not sure. But in 2 or 3 weeks, I really hope to run the online web scraping service I've been talking about at the very beginning of this video. So if that ever happens, if I would successfully buy the annual subscription for Python Anywhere, if that works, because I could have encountered some sort of transaction issues because I don't have PayPal. PayPal is not allowed in Ukraine, for those of you who don't know that. So I'm using Payoneer debit card. So I hope that should work for that purpose. So as soon as I will complete the very initial deploy for the online web scraping service, I would be very happy to introduce it to you, and actually to run it, to make as many beginner developers as possible start using that sort of service. And I really hope this would that service would bring you both pleasure and some educative meaning, or I don't know how to say that. Well, okay guys, I hope I think you got what I mean. So this is it for this video. Thanks for listening and watching this. So until next time, and take care.